Most people don't understand this word Sati. Sati is a Pali word, and it has been commonly translated into mindfulness. But what actually is mindfulness? What actually is Sati? These are very few people understand. So today maybe I will go a bit deeper into this topic so that you can develop the understanding. What I always share with you is Sati is awareness. Before the knowing. So the key word is awareness. When you are just aware, there is no knowing. So awareness before the knowing is actually the pure awareness. Before the aggregate of mind come out, before the thought come out. So this one is the pure awareness. Before perception. Etc. The moment you start to perceive, then you start to recognize whatever you perceive, then your thought process, which is sankhara activity, starts to move, then you are lost in thought. You become heedless. You don't have sati. That's why a better word is attention. Krishnamurti came out with this word, attention. And this one is also a very common English word. So what is attention? When you are attentive, what do you do? When a person is attentive, when you are able to pay attention, means what? Yeah? Like my sharing. When you are attentive, what are you doing? Huh? Not only understand, you listen attentively without thought, isn't it? You don't go and think, isn't it? The moment you think or you try to develop the commentary over what I say, you are no longer attentive. Do you understand? Attentive means pay attention. So attentive are very important. Attentive. Paying attention. Silent. Without thought. So when you are attentively listening, you are paying attention. Your mind is silent. Mind is silent without thought. Mind is silent without thought. If your mind is not silent, you cannot be paying attention. Do you know why? If your mind is not silent, means what? It's either thinking, commenting, or heedlessly lost in thought. So the art of listening is to be attentive. When you are attentive, you are paying attention and you really listen without distraction. So listening without distraction is attention. This is referring to hearing consciousness, when you are paying attention. So attention is listening without distraction. So when you are attentive, when you pay attention, you really listen. Because you listen without any distraction from the mind. You don't chattel, you don't verbalize, you don't comment, you don't do anything, you just listen. That's why I don't try to know. Silent, aware. So basically, these few words you need to differentiate and understand. One is Sati. The other one is, this one and mindfulness is the same. So these two is the same. Then this one, awareness, you also have to understand. Then this one, attention, you also have to understand. Then Krishnamurti got a very good saying. He said, awareness of inattention is attention. This one is the most important. The moment you are aware that you are not paying attention, so awareness of inattention is attention. This one is very important. Means you are attentive. Because you are already aware that you are not paying attention. Do you understand? At that moment, you will be attentive. Without this awareness of inattention, you cannot be attentive. So every time when you are lost in thought, when you realize that you are lost in thought, means your awareness came back. Awareness of inattention is attention. So when you are aware, you are not thinking. That is what the silent mind is all about. That is what Sati is all about. Sati is just this awareness before the knowing. So what is the difference between Sati, awareness, mindfulness, and attention? From what I have explained, you should understand now, isn't it? Because the reason why I introduced this word attention is you can understand. Isn't it? To be attentive, to pay attention is very easy, isn't it? It's an English word, isn't it? So it's like the art of listening. So listening without distraction means verbalization or whatever. So this one is actually the art of listening. Means you pay attention and listen attentively. Yeah. But then what is the difference between attention and sati, or attention and awareness? What is the difference? When you see this, you will understand. Then you will know how to cultivate. Well, I realize a lot of people find it very difficult to understand what sati is, what awareness is. And they ask the wrong question. Aware of what? Who is aware? That is the wrong question. Awareness is before the knowing. So how can there be a subject that is aware? The question of who is aware is totally a wrong question. You don't understand what awareness is. When it's aware, it's just that nature. No one to be aware. Can you follow? They're aware of what? The moment you're aware of something, you already perceive and know. And that itself is not awareness anymore. Do you understand? So it's a wrong question. That's why these people confuse the word noting with sati. They thought noting something, the meditation object, is sati. No, noting is not sati. Noting is by the thought. That's why they ask the question, who is noting? Note what? That's why they tell you, note rising, falling. Note whatever meditation object that you are doing. So note this, note that. Note your mental intention. Intending to walk, pain. Thinking. That is verbalization. That is thought-based, creating more thought. When you do that, how can you be in a state of sati or awareness? You can't. That's why understanding this is very important. So when you understand all this, now we come to the main understanding. Attention and awareness is still this. There is difference. Do you see the difference? Attention is listening without distraction. Like just now, Queenie said, you listen attentively, all the words can come in, understand? Then, because you pay attention, you are listening. But the problem with most human beings is, as they listen, they start to comment, understand? They start to create commentaries inside there. They try to arise the views, the opinion, and the conditioning and verbalize or create verbal commentary about what they hear. And when you do that, you are not paying attention anymore, understand? It's like in the school, in the class, as the teacher teach. After you listen, you say, no, this is not right. This is wrong. That moment when you say, this is not right, this is wrong, are you paying attention? No more. You are lost in thought. That's why what is being taught during those seconds or moments, you are not able to pay attention anymore. You have to continuously listen attentively. Then when you listen, you will understand whether it's the truth or not the truth. If not the truth, you can still accept he is just the way he is, understand? That's why you continue to listen. You give him the benefit. Then after listening for a while, then you realize what he says doesn't conform. Then just let things be. Do you understand? No need to comment, no need to say anything. Unless there is condition to bring about understanding to share with people. Otherwise, you keep quiet. So always remember, paying attention, listening without distraction means without verbalization, commentary, and all those things. Means you just listen. The art of listening, pure listening. Just listen. Attentively listening. So listening is a form of sati, but not real sati. Do you understand? Because there is still perceiving of the words, understand? Perceiving of what is being shared, what is being told to you. The words and all those things. There is still perception. But this is very near to sati. Do you understand? This is aware, perceive, aware, perceive. So keep on perceiving. That's why I say, aware, finish. Aware, finish. When you do your meditation, it's the same. Aware, finish. Don't be distracted by what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you tactily feel or think. So to develop attention, to just listen is not easy. The art of listening is not. If you cannot do this, you cannot develop the next stage. When you can do this, then you can develop the next stage, which is awareness or Sati. Then when you just aware, means initially aware, perceive. You perceive what you are listening. Do you understand? Then finish. Continuously perceiving, receiving the whatever message, understand? Then later on when you move down to the heart, because it's away from the brain, sometimes you are not able to perceive. Then what is happening? You silence everything. Don't try to perceive. That is Sati. That is just aware. No need to know. So meditation is not only attention. Meditation is when you are living life, you pay attention. This is Sati with perception. Finish. Aware, finish. Aware, finish. Aware, perceive, finish. So like specific phenomenal awareness. Where you live life, you need to perceive. Otherwise you cannot live life. Like whatever. Specific phenomenal awareness means when you are living life in the midst of activity, the senses are active. So when you are seeing with awareness, means the awareness and the phenomena move as one. It can be nature's phenomena, like the moving trees, the leaf, the breeze, or whatever. You can perceive them. The awareness and that thing move as one. The awareness and the phenomena move as one, like the moving car. The word is not there, just the awareness move with it. But you have to perceive. Later on you perceive it's a moving car. But you don't go and proliferate your thought after that. Wow, nice car, beautiful car. Who owns it? Then you are gone. As long as you are aware, car or whatever, then within your field of awareness, you can be aware of the whole thing. Then you can also know what it is through your perception. So attention is very important. When you live life, you pay attention, you listen, you perceive through your seeing, hearing, smell, taste, tactile, and thought process. So the awareness and the perception, they move together. This aware, perceive, they understand, then they live life. But when you come to meditation, you're not supposed to even try to perceive anything. Don't, just aware. Let the awareness stabilize. That's why let mind enter Sati. You just develop this. This is meditation. Huh? This is living life. So when you live life, you need to pay attention. Otherwise you get yourself into trouble. You will get into accident and all things. But as you do this, your daily mindfulness will arise. Where you just aware, perceive, you don't go and create thinking. But when you want to understand something, reflection, contemplation and inquiry, that one different. That one you silence yourself in a quiet place. It can be standing or sitting or just relax in whatever posture. Then you reflect, you contemplate. Means you are not actively engaged in life. But when you are actively engaged in life, like walking around the town or the city area or your work environment or even traveling on the car and all those things, driving and all that, you don't do the reflection and the contemplation. But when you got nothing to do, like the bus take you up to Cameron Highland, you are sitting alone, and then you can reflect, you can contemplate, you can inquire, you can develop the Dhamma understanding, the second turning wisdom. So attention is related to life. Contemplation, reflection, inquiry also related to life. That's why in the daily life, you can listen to Dhamma attentively to develop the first turning wisdom. Then you can reflect, contemplate, and inquire to develop the second turning wisdom. But to develop the third turning wisdom, you must meditate. That's why this is meditation, Sati. Bhavana Maya Panya. So this one will awaken. So when you aware without thought, when you are just silent completely, even in the midst of life, daily mindfulness or whatever, it can suddenly trigger off understanding or wisdom or insight into phenomena. Then during that time, the awakening is always the third turning, bhavana, maya, panya. So today I want to go into this topic so that you all understand. Because this one came to me when I just woke up this morning. When I just woke up this morning, suddenly inside the message came out. He said, living being cannot understand this. But to me, it's like common knowledge, understand? Like everyone of you should understand. But unless I explain, you can never understand. So with this word attention and inattention, it's easier to understand that. Attention is been heedful, understand? Inattention is heedless. So awareness of inattention is attention. The moment you know you are heedless, you are already aware. Do you understand? The moment you are without thought, you are already aware. That is what meditation is all about. So understand this. If you keep on creating thought, you are not meditating. You are creating disturbance, distraction within your mind field. So thought is limited because thought is always egoic. Before the wisdom arises, the living being, they can never use thought appropriately or correctly. Before the wisdom arises, thought is always egoic because the personality, the egoic mind, the Sakaya deity will make the thought egoic. That's why the three evil roots. When you think you exist, there is a personality, there is an I, there is a me, there is somebody. So what happened? This personality, egoic mind will become greedy, selfish, because it wants to own things, have things, control things. Then this one is also emotional. That's why after greed is anger, hatred, envy, jealousy, emotion. These two evil roots. And they are the result of the third evil root, delusion, self-delusion. When you think you exist, that's why through that delusion, you create your own fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow, and lamentation. You get yourself entangled. That's how suffering comes to be. So when you develop the wisdom to understand all this, or the mindfulness and awareness to see all this, then you understand, then you can awaken, you can liberate your mind, you can free your mind from such delusion and entanglement. Then when you realize through the meditation or mindfulness, you realize everything is dependent, originating, condition arising, causal phenomena. He know you, he know me. Just nature's phenomena, mental phenomena, physical phenomena, arising and passing away, the coming and the going, the birth and the death. Even the present moment, split second is dead and gone. Come and go, come and go. Feeling also come and go, come and go. Perception also same. Sankhara activity, mental intention, mental emotion, or mental states. They are all dependent, originating, condition arising. Without condition, it does not arise. Like the physics experiment, you need the three things: sense organ, sense object, and contact of mind. So the physics experiment also have three things. The battery is the power source, or you call it the consciousness part, the energy that give rise to the ability to become conscious of what you see, what you smell, what you taste, what you tactile feel and think. So that one is like your life force that come and give you the ability to arise. Then what happens is, when you on the switch, the life force flow through, or that energy flow through, then it trigger off the light bulb to light up. The lighting up is like the mind become conscious, conscious of what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you tactile feel and think. So this ability to be conscious is a natural process. You don't need a God inside there to create that special quality to see. Do you need a God to create seeing, hearing, smell? You don't need. All these are natural conditions within your form and mind. When the conditions come together, it will trigger off. That's why the senses are very important. Because we have the 5 physical senses and the brain or the mind as the 6th sense door that create thinking and thought process. So this 6th sense door become the sense basis. That's why the Buddha teach you the real scientific understanding. But you need mindfulness to see all this. That's why his teaching is more difficult to understand. You cannot perceive it because it's at the mind level. You need mindfulness to be aware, to be sensitive. It's not something physical where you can see like the physics experiment. All these are mental within. That's why you need to train your mind, develop mindfulness, awareness. Then when you are silent and aware, you can see it happening. And that direct seeing will lead to the awakening, the understanding. Then the mind liberates itself. You are no longer deluded. Then when you start to understand that everything is naturally arising and passing away, there is nobody inside, then you realize the 5 aggregate of form and mind is empty, not what you think. He know you, he know me, there is nobody inside. Even the physical body, how can you say it's you? You only think it's you. Because this physical body without the consciousness is just elements, go the way of nature. That's why it's subject to nature's law. You have no control. It is not you. That's why the Buddha used this analogy in the Anatta Lakkhana Sutta, the sutta on non-self or empty nature of existence. He said, "Monk, is this body you?" Or he used the other word actually, "Is this body self?" Means permanent unchanging entity belonging to you, understand? He said, "Is this body self?" The monk cannot understand, cannot answer him. But to them, they believe it's theirs. The Buddha said it cannot be. If this body is self, belong to you, then it will not tend towards suffering. True or not? True or not? If it belongs to you, you can tell this body what? Don't get old, don't get sick, and don't die. But because it is not you, that's why it tends towards suffering. Then the next question he asked the monk is this body permanent or impermanent? They can see it during their meditation, in their daily life. This body is impermanent. But as you go through existence or life, this one starts to grow, then reach a peak. They call it adolescent. Then it starts to age. That's why this one keep on changing. Every moment, every instant you meditate, it keep on changing. So the monk answered him, he said, "This body of ours is impermanent. It goes the way of nature." Then the Buddha asked back the monk, "Whatever that is impermanent tends towards suffering. Is it right for you to say that this is you, this is me, and this is self?" Straight away the monk awakened. Do you see the powerful understanding or not? Whatever that is not you, means not self, you have no control. That's why it tends towards suffering. Then not only it tends towards suffering, it is also impermanent. So how can you hold on to something that is impermanent and tends towards suffering and say, this is me, this is I? This is really delusion, foolishness. That's why in the Anatta Lakkhana Sutta it becomes very clear. Then he repeat for feeling. He repeat for perception. Then he repeat for sankhara. And he repeat for consciousness. Then later on I share with you a deeper understanding. This physical body, this feeling, perception, sankhara and consciousness, vijnana, how can they be you? You ask yourself a simple question. You have taken birth, so for so many segmented lives, billions and billions and billions. Which one is you? Everyone is not you. Well, these are karmically conditional, dependent originating. They go the way of nature. So when you see this very clearly, then you know this one cannot be me. Make out all the four elements. When consciousness separate, this one go the way of nature. When there is no knowing, no consciousness, you are not that one anymore. There's similarly feeling, isn't it? The Buddha tends towards suffering and impermanent. But for me, I just use impermanent, I can let you understand anatta. The question is feeling self? Is feeling you? If you say feeling is you, I can prove you wrong straight away. When you have a pleasant feeling, then after a while, this pleasant feeling gone. If feeling is you, what happened? When that feeling is gone, you must die, isn't it? You have to die with it, isn't it? So when there is pleasant or unpleasant feeling, they come and they go. But did you die? You didn't die, isn't it? So how can feeling be you? Perception come and go, you didn't die. That's why it's impermanent. And you didn't die. So how can feeling, perception, sankhara and vijnana be you? That's why all the five aggregate of form and mind are never you. So when you understand this, realize this, then you should wake up and inquire while in the meditative state. If they are not me, then why did they arise in me? Every day, every moment, every instant. Feeling keep on arising, perception keep on arising, mental state keep on arising, consciousness keep on arising and passing away. If they are not me, then why did they arise in me? Then who am I? What am I? That is the inquiry. That's how I went into it. Then I realized all these are empty, not real, like what Kuan Yin Bodhisattva in the Heart Sutta exclaimed. 照见五蕴皆空. Because when I silence my mind, I meditate, then I saw the dependent originating, condition arising, causal phenomena. Then everything is just nature's phenomenal, condition, arising, passing away, arising, passing. Then nothing inside there. He know you, he know me. That's why, because it's impermanent, it's not a permanent, unchanging entity that you can hold on to, grasp onto and cling on and say, this is me, this is I. Therefore, all this can be mine. Then I realized the delusion, the foolishness. Like the Buddha said, you can't even own this very body of yours. How can you own any other thing? Because even this physical body doesn't belong to you. Wherein wealth, wherein son, wherein possession. This only the foolish lament. So all this saying by the Buddha become very clear when you develop the meditative understanding through mindfulness. When you silence your mind and see all this, then when you reflect, contemplate and inquire, all this become clear to you. So this clarity will allow you to move in. Then the question is, if they are not you, then who are you? What are you? That's how I went in and probed. Then I realized this physical body and mind is dependent, originating, karmically conditional. That's why it's not me. But this one is related to my nature. For my nature to come to this existential world, I need a form and mind. And this form and mind, which is subject to karma, is karmically conditional, is connected to my nature. But it's not me. Where this one is impermanent, lead to suffering, dependent, originating, non-self, empty, anicca, dukkha, anatta. So with this understanding, what must I do? Because this is subject to karma, I must take care of this one. Do you understand? That's why I realize the Buddha's teaching match. The Buddha's teaching come from this right view with regards to law of karma. That's why he said the 5 daily contemplation, the last one. We are all born of our karma, heir to our karma, conditioned and supported by our karma. And we are what we are because of karma. If your entire life depends on karma, what must you do? You have to take care of karma. And how to take care of karma? You make sure this form and mind doesn't simply do things. That's why you need to train this form and mind to be heedful, to be aware, to have all this understanding, awareness, Sati, to develop the understanding of who you are, what you are, and awaken. Then after that, this wisdom that is connected to this form and mind will never violate the precept, break the natural law of karma. So it will avoid all evil, do good, purify the mind, following the advice of the Buddha. That's how this form and mind become beautiful. When you take care of karma, karma take care of your life. That is what the teaching is all about. That's why then I realized, not only that, if this is not me, then who am I? What am I? That's why when I completely relax and silence my mind, when this one goes into the cessation, then you realize each and every one of us, we have an eternal nature. The Buddha called it the Buddha nature, the oneness nature, your true nature. That's why the original nature, 本来的面目, forcing, all these are words. But the real thing is, there is a nature within, which is the unconditioned, beyond thought, beyond mind. The oneness nature, your Buddha nature. You know. Then, when I realized that is the nature that is common to all of living beings, not only humanity, then the mystery is being resolved. No more question, no more doubt, no more need to understand any other thing. But this one is the deathless element. Deathless element means it is the unconditioned, it's never born. Whatever that is never born, how can there be old age, sickness and death? That's why in the Heart Sutta, it says, in true emptiness, there is no such thing as Four Noble Truths, old age, sickness and death. No one attained. No one born, no one sick, no one old, and no one died. So all this understanding mesh. That's why the Dhamma is very different. When you realize it and when you understand it, you transform. Then this one, the eternal life, the oneness nature, your true nature, or your Buddha nature, this one cannot come out and live life. Do you understand? But this one is the unconditioned. So to live life, you need this form and mind. You need the understanding, which is the wisdom connected to it. That's why you have to meditate. You have to realize that understanding. Then awaken. When you awaken, the wisdom is connected to this form and mind. Then this form and mind, once is no longer deluded because of the wisdom, it can live life. You can say it's enlightened, but it's not you. Where this one goes the way of nature. This one is impermanent. If you attach, cling, it leads to suffering. And because it's impermanent, it's not a permanent, unchanging entity, that's why it's anatta, non-self, empty. And this one has its lifespan, because it's subject to nature's law. So do not be deceived and deluded by this. There are a lot of cultivators, they believe finally they become enlightened. You know why? Because the question is, if no one enlightened, then meditate for what? Cultivate for what? Because they want somebody to become enlightened. Because they think they can become enlightened, that's why they are motivated. But the funny thing is, when you finally realize it, you realize you don't exist. Because if you use logic and try to understand this, you can never understand. That's why these logical thinking people, knowledge-based, they can never understand. And the very stupid, pardon me for using that word, stupid understanding, if meditate and no one enlightened, meditate for what? Give up. You go and give up. Because without this meditation, understanding, awakening, and the wisdom connected to your form and mind, you become miserable. You means your form and mind, and they cannot understand that. Your form and mind is one aspect of you. It is not you, but it is part of your nature. This is the one that comes into existence. That's why it makes it so difficult to understand, so confusing. And to realize enlightenment, you must realize that this is not you. That's why they cannot do it. Because through this, they determine and they want to have the enlightenment. The moment you want, you crave, you can never find. So that is the difficult part. So what by nature wish to let you understand is to realize that clearly. The form and mind is separate. It is part of your coming, means part of your nature. For your nature to come to this existential world, it needs a karmically conditioned form and mind. We call it the vehicle and the tool. Without this, you cannot come. Yeah, your nature, your true nature, your Buddha nature, or your true mind, your silent mind. This one cannot come out and live life. So you cannot use that to come out. Cannot. You need a form and mind. And without this form and mind, you cannot connect back to your true nature, your Buddha nature. That's where the difficulty is. That's why you must use this form and mind to start meditating, develop the understanding, awakening, then connect. And then you go in. Then you can realize that thing. But the Bodhisattva and the Buddhas, they are very, very different. Because they have gone through this process. They understand this process. They know the nature's law that governs life and existence. That's why they know how to come. And they know how to develop all this understanding. If you are not a Bodhisattva, if you are not a Buddha, it's very difficult for you to develop such understanding. Because as a Bodhisattva, you will know all this segmented life, birth and death, is the karmic nature conditional. None of them is you. But then, if every life you come without any understanding, then you exist and live life, you will get into trouble. That's why the Bodhisattva and the Buddha, they understand this creation aspect of nature. They straight away make aspiration, vow, like what I teach you. So that life after life, whenever you come, you have this Dhamma understanding. You have this right view. You aspire life after life to have this understanding, to follow the advice of the Buddha, to invoke power, merits for causes and conditions, to actually clear your karmic obstruction. To invoke power, merits for causes and conditions for you to always avoid the foolish, meet up with the wise and the enlightened one. then seek the protection, blessing, and guidance of all the great beings, the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, to assist you to walk this way. That's why after you perfect yourself through the Bodhisattva way cultivation, your karmic nature become very powerful, your spiritual nature become very powerful. So whenever you come, future rebirth, you can decide when to come, how to come, under what condition. That's why you become very different. And the moment you come, like Huining and all the great Bodhisattva and even this nature of mind, when they come, everything is already decided from the past through their wisdom and understanding. So they already have the very powerful aspiration and vow. But they choose to come, and they will know which era, which timing, under which condition they will come. And when they come, they will inherit everything. And very fast they will connect. Like this, like since young, when I was born, my nature, I knew I am different. You witness all these things happening. It's like, how come this form and mind is so lucky? Everything just happened. And like I no need to learn anything. I just accord and flow and everything fall into place. Then the understanding just come by itself. Many things that I share and teach with you all this life, I never learned. Then how did I understand? How did I develop them? It's from the past, cultivation. It's after this nature develop the condition to connect, then it inherit from the spiritual nature. That's how a lot of things happen, and it just transforms. Initially, it's the karmic nature first. Karmic nature is very powerful, and the vows, the aspiration. So all this is the one that actually prepare the Bodhisattva or the Buddha, whoever come. That's why they are different. Without all this understanding, it's impossible. That's why living beings who don't have this understanding suffer, become miserable, really miserable. Okay? So today, for your sharing, this one is very useful, very important. Okay? Yeah.
Good afternoon, Master Okamita. I got one question. Is about you say just now you say something about follow the flow or something like follow your karmic, and then you just
accord and flow.
Accord and flow, yes.
When you accord and flow with condition means you allow your karmic nature to take you along. Then you realize everything go your way because you have taken care of karma. The karmic nature is so beautiful.
But for example, because spiritual is already you understand, so you just accord and flow.
Correct.
Then it's like for me, if how do I know that like you say you can see signs and then you just accord and flow. Then
Okay.
how do I know whether
I
this one
understand.
is
Very good.
correct or not correct?
Very good question. I understand your question. I will answer you. Sadhu. Let us rejoice. Very good question. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. You see, the point Tammy is trying to bring out is not everybody got nature like us, and like the great beings, the Bodhisattva, and like my nature. So if you think you haven't reached those level of understanding, then when you are born into this world, how are you going to cultivate? How are you going to develop all this understanding? So this is a very important question, because not everybody is the same. That's why everybody is different. But one thing I can assure you is you all are actually not normal people. You have your very special parami. Where for you to be born during the Buddha Sasana, to encounter the Buddha Dharma, and have the condition to be here listening and cultivating, your nature is not bad, but may not be the one that is very, very special. But don't worry, at least with this type of parami and understanding, you know you have the condition to develop more. That's why you have the condition to encounter all this. born during the Buddha Sasana, encounter the true Dhamma, then having the condition to be Kalyanamitas and develop all this understanding. And even the Bodhisattva way is made known to you with the understanding of how to do it. That's why you make sure you do it well this life. Make sure you make all the vow, the aspiration and all those things, then all your future will be taken care of. But this is what all bodhisattvas start with. Initially, the Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas also start like a normal Putujana, deluded, full of ignorance, karmic nature not taken care of. But the moment you understand this teaching, if you are very determined, full of faith, and very strong in your intention to really develop this understanding, you will go all out and cultivate this teaching. Just like this life is the same. The moment in 1971 I saw that book, What Buddhists Believe, the first edition, I think, Chief Reverend Kesri Dhammananda. The moment I saw that Four Noble Truths, I said, that's it, no need to search. How can I have that understanding? It's from the past, yes. But whether it's from the past or the first time you see it, you must have that faith very strong. That's why from that moment onward, I never turn back. I go all out to cultivate. That's how I connect back very fast, my nature. So likewise for you all, you are given such great window of opportunity to have this understanding, which I have been repeating for many times. Don't waste this window. Develop the clear understanding and determine with real sincerity, faith and perseverance to have this understanding life after life. Make the vow, make the aspiration for causes and conditions for you to continuously, life after life, whenever you have to come or you choose to come, to have all this understanding according to the Bodhisattva vow. Then you plant the seed of Bodhi. Even you just start, let's say, to walk this way, Bodhisattva way, first stage of Bodhi mind development, which is the easiest, everybody can do. Do it. Once you plant that intention to go this way, you are planting the seed of Bodhi to develop the understanding to walk this way. And that seed of Bodhi is very important. And that is the first stage of Bodhi mind development. That's why with faith, with sincerity, and you determine to plant this single Bodhi mind to walk this path, to walk the path of the Bodhisattva. Then you take the vow, the four basic vows. Then you make all the other aspirations based on that yellow card I teach you. You will set your future in place. Then in future you don't have to worry. Every time you come, you just accord and flow, everything will go your way. Because the vow will take you along, understand? Then the affinity with all the great beings, together with the Kalyanamitas and whoever who have the condition to take you along. Because of your sincerity, your faith and your understanding, then if you determine strongly and persevere, all this will fall into place. Then the causes and conditions will arise by itself for you to go this way. Then sometimes if you determine now, not long, I think after this retreat, many of you will become very different. Then when you progress, when you connect, you will be surprised. You may think you are nothing now, but the moment you connect, you will recall your past cultivation. You will understand how you become what you are. Then after that, when you inherit from your spiritual nature, then all your past cultivation and understanding will come back to you. Then you become very different. Then that time we can have tea. No need to do anything. we can just live life, share Dhamma. Then all the Zen story, drinking a cup of Chinese tea is Zazen. You understand everything. That time you become very beautiful. Then that time you will tell people the same thing. No need to struggle, no need to worry. Have faith, be sincere, persevere, make determination, adhitana. Then accord and flow, everything will go your way. That's how it can be done. So for those who are born not during the sasana, I think that is the main question you want to ask, isn't it? Huh? Because now it's in the sasana, that's why I told you you got no problem. But those in the sasana don't have the condition to be a Buddhist, to encounter the Buddhist teaching, also same, got problem. But these people are very difficult to help. You know why? Because of their karmic conditioning, their karmic obstruction. That's why sasana, they are born into this world and they tend to follow their karma. Where their karma, they promote the other religion so strongly, that's all. And they are so attracted to the other religion. So they end up followers of those religions. So if you are followers of those religions, if you doesn't have an open mind, you shut off your mind, then nobody can help you. Understand? Even the Buddha also cannot do anything. Because he can only show you the way, share with you the understanding. You have to walk the path yourself. That's why you don't have affinity with the triple gem. It's not easy, very difficult. And for beings that are born out of the sasana, when the sasana is not around, it's almost near to zero chance, almost near to zero chance of developing this understanding. But during that time, a lot of wrong view, a lot of wrong understanding, and living beings are really deluded, full of ignorance. So even during the time when the great beings come, very few of them are willing to listen, where they are distracted by their karmic obstruction. Then they become gullible. That's why they do all sorts of funny things. So these beings that are born out of the sasana, they are more difficult to help and save. Only those who have the affinity with the teaching or the triple gem. Of course, during period where there is no sasana, there are still beings who can develop this cultivation, but very few. Very few. During the time, it's very rare. That's why we have what they call Pacceka Buddhas. The Pacceka Buddha, they are the beings that awaken during non-sasana. When the sasana are not around, they develop their own understanding of the 色因缘法, Paticca Samuppada, the 12 links, and they awaken to it without the assistance of a sasana, without the assistance of the Four Noble Truths as proclaimed by the Buddha. There are such beings. Then of course there are also great beings, Bodhisattva, that come to cultivate. But the funny thing is, during non-sasana, most of these great beings, they choose not to come. Even when they need to come, it's because of special reason, certain special reason, where they can actually play their role and help out certain type of beings with affinity and all those things. Otherwise, they won't come. So during those periods, the chances is very, very low. That's the reason why my nature share with you all. Never miss this window of opportunity where the sasana is still around. But this is your best chance, your best window. You get it right, all your future taken care of, and you become very beautiful. So don't have to worry about others. take care of yourself first. Then when you develop the understanding, you become beautiful, then you can play your part. So as Bodhisattva, when you start, the route, the path is also not easy. As you move along this Bodhisattva way, you start to learn more and more things, more and more things. That's why the Buddha always mentioned this. The law of karma is very complex, very complicated, very difficult to understand. You need a great Bodhisattva or great beings to go through cultivation for aeons and aeons and aeons to develop the complete understanding, the perfection of wisdom and virtue, to understand all this. So such great beings are not many around, but there are. Then if you are determined, even as you walk this path, you don't have to worry. As long as you have faith, sincerity, and you persevere, the way will be there, and you will complete it, finish it, realize it. Because along the way, your understanding will help you. Your vows, your whatever aspiration, your karmic inheritance, your merits, your virtue, your affinity with all the great beings, and your understanding of this teaching, they will help you. They will pave the way for you to complete this cultivation. That's why no need to know. Just have faith, be sincere, persevere, and just do. Then everything will fall into place. Okay? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Any other question?
Yeah, good afternoon, all Brother Teo, Mrs. Teo, and all Kalayamitas. Brother Teo, you remember the yellow card of the Bodhisattva you gave us? You told us to read it every day.
Yeah.
But sometimes, if we are, some days we cannot.
Never mind. As long as you continuously train yourself, initially it's at least for 3 to 6 months, until that thing become
even
like.
Though in between you stop also.
Never mind. But as long as you stabilize it until it has become part of your nature, understand? Means this thing already to you very familiar already. No need card also you can recite already.
But still cannot recite without card. Sometimes also.
Then you have to continue, but don't need to be like force yourself to be every day. If you can, of course, will be better. But if you can't, you miss it a few days, it's nothing. Understand? Because sometimes maybe you are not well or you are traveling, so not conducive. But determine until it becomes part and parcel of your understanding. Means without the card, you know what that thing is. So you constantly aspire, make that deep understanding until it becomes part of your nature. Then actually after that, technically you don't need to do it. Well, after that, it's part of your nature already, part of your understanding. And these are the right understanding and right view that you have planted this life, so that it becomes very deep in your nature. Then whenever you arise, there will be causes and conditions for this understanding to manifest because of your Bodhi mind. That's why the Bodhi mind is very important. If you have planted it well, it will nurture and grow. It will constantly remind you of this vow and teaching. That's why no matter where you are born, it will trigger you. It will let you understand. That's why you have to do it until very stable, especially this life. Okay, sadhu.